Storm Spirit, Faith supporting Silencer, and Burning, who's taking it. Oh, hello, Joe Ranger set.
Man, even I'm not as in love with Storm as Dro.
But that set's beautiful.
It's a good one?
I have this one too.
Oh, that is the really nice set.
Yeah, that's a nice sexy one. Chon will be the line. Speaking of completely not sexy, I'm referring to the line model. Chon is obviously a sexy beast. Off lane will be Ice. Don't quote me. Don't go there. Super will be the Shadow Fiend for the mid. That leaves FY just babysitting as this Lina who's driving the Miss Daisy hat. Hal will be the Spectre up on the top, and wrapping up our cosmetics, which will be none, is Tree Protector. He is literally a naked tree.
Yeah, I don't really know if any of the cosmetics are necessary because nobody really plays Tree that much. So IG are grouped up as 4 at bottom. It looks like they are going to give this rune away to Ferrari.
Are they going to battle Chuan?
I think they
I don't think they really can, man. Ice coming in close. He's right on top of Ferrari. Light Striker Ray well off target. He'll get the call on Ferrari, and the rune will actually go to the axe. But Ice, was it worth it? He buys a TP scroll, but gives first blood to the Storm Spirit. So even though he doesn't get the 100 rune, he gets the first blood.
That's definitely you definitely want that over the first blood, or I mean over the rune. And
at least Ice gets straight back to the lane. He got half a level.
Yeah, for sure, but still, I feel like giving up that...
I'm looking at the bright side, man.
Yeah, you have to at that point.
I'm not saying it's a positive thing.
Because there's no way that they fight that. Like, you've got an Axe with level 1 call, you've got a Lina who's got a really unreliable stun, and then on top of that, level 1 raises. That's not going to deter anybody, especially in a 4v3 fight. So IG get the better of that, and Ferrari almost has his bottle on top of that, but Super doing a really good job of CSing, but he's almost out of mana already because he had to expend a raise at bottom just to kind of battle them off.
Luo just got massively punched on the top lane, and he'll have to go all the way back to base, and this leaves Silencer to play the defensive off lane now. So Faith just turned core, and Ferrari's just got to battle for CS in the mid. I want to watch Burning's build, because I know a couple of Dro Rangers in the Western scene go for this Treads and 3 Wraithband build.
Yeah.
Which I still cannot really become a massive supporter of, just because of its inefficiency. Because you will have to sell one of the Wraithbands before the 15-20 minute mark, and you have to sell the second one by the 30-minute mark.
Yeah, I think getting 3 this game might be a little bit overkill, but getting 2 with an Aquila as well isn't the worst trade-off in the entire world. Chuan gonna do a little bit of damage to Ice at bottom. He's actually gone so much levels. If you click him, he's already level 3.
Yeah. But the problem is he can't do much more because he's out of consumables. He didn't find enough farm to pick up these Tranquil boots, which is what he's working his way towards.
Yeah, and IG have moved as a unit to this top lane. You might as well, because
why? Fire Strike Array is going to be nice at least, but that's a haste room for the Storm Spirit, so if he wants to go for this, he can do so.
I think he actually might.
Oh,
dive
with
comes off as well.
Dive. That's enough.
Yeah, and FY, even with this stuff,
he's trying to
knife suicide!
Fade away.
Poker say die.
And that's 2 kills off the bat now for Ferrari, and that's definitely not a type of player that you want to be feeding 2 kills and the first blood to this early in the game.
Because that means he can get up in the face of Super. At the same time, Super enjoyed that time because now he's up to 11 salt with that last hit.
Yeah, he's done quite well for himself in this mid lane.
Yep.
Despite the first blood and the draw aura.
Well, missed that one on the top. In fact, it's going to be not a double kill, just Hal harassing him down, and the Silencer dies.
They have to be so careful in that top lane. That is not a good defensive lane. Silencer can't really protect the Phoenix and vice versa.
I think they're only up here so they could try and win the harassment battle. Like, that looks like the only thing they can win, because Fenrir comes in with, like, fists of trees.
Yeah, but are you really even harassing the Spectre out? Because he's keeping up with this drone farm just fine, and you're also sacrificing so many levels for Ice. I
don't think anything's really been done to this Spectre. Like, this is just how farming up. The only thing you could try and work with is creep equilibrium. But you got a problem on the top, which is Luo already forced back because FY comes in from the side. Forced Icarus dive himself back to safety. Now there's 30 seconds where he can't come near this top tower. But VG don't care because all they've managed to do, okay, maybe they do, because Faith, he moves over to FY. The Lion Strike Array is going to buy him the space. There is boots versus non-boots and boots.
Under attack.
But FY just runs it off or hovers it off.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. And I mean, he has died once already to that hasted storm. I mean, he had to kind of contest that rune, but at the same time, maybe not the best move for him. He is just going to go stack this jungle out, like we said. Somebody has to do it for the Shadow Fiend, especially on the dire side. And the Shadow Fiend, although, you know, he got hurt a little bit by giving up the Storm First Blood by the Axe, he's kept up really nicely in farm. He's got 19 CS on top. Ferrari does have 2 kills. He had to leave the lane to get the second one.
But he came back pretty quick because he got the haste rune, so there wasn't that much lost. But he's not going to get the advantage here in the mid lane anymore. Super... Like, it almost goes back to what we were talking about during the drafting phase. How do you play a Storm up against an SF? And when you have an SF that can just go to the jungle and flash farm a lot faster than a Storm can, because there's no stacks for a Storm. At the same time, okay, there's only 1 stack for the SF. But it won't take much to go for a triple stack, and he's got the DD rune inside of his bottle. Yeah,
him farming out the jungle too this early in the game is a lot more efficient than the Storm doing
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But again, How Watch, that's what we're looking for, is if he can farm out quick enough, he really puts this pressure on IG to get aggressive on the map soon.
See, I'm on Burn Watch, not How Watch. I want to see Burning hit level 6, because then the amplification of the damage is just so high. Ice is going for a walk into the trees, but unfortunately he shouldn't have listened to HY, as Chorn and Faith are going to come right behind him. Is there enough damage? Yeah, there is. Burning will come in with the cold arrows. There is that... okay, that's really nice. That's so nice. Without that armor, he wouldn't have survived both portions of that armor, which was living as well as the Berserker's Call increase.
Yeah, that was actually a really, really nice play, but...
And they might be going to kill. Nope, Icarus dive.
Luo's getting pretty low. The dagger puts him at 8 HP. Oh.
I actually thought the dagger connected beforehand. That's why my camera went back up to the spectrum.
Oh, okay. No, it was... I mean, he was about to die to that, but the dagger doesn't really do too much damage. It's going to be able to survive. Walk it off. You've got Tranquil Boots. You should be fine. And Luo's going to hit a decent offlane timing of level 6 at this rate.
I'm looking at this for IG, and there is one major problem. You were saying before that you got to get ahead. Well, hey! Ferrari had to double jump to avoid that haste rune. As well as the raise in 1 attack, Ferrari is not a healthy man. But I'm looking at the item build for Hal. He's got Phase Boost to start with. He's gone in for the Ring of Basilius, which he'll turn off because he wants to control the lane. Is this a Radiance game, or is this one of these games where you say, you know what, no, I need my Mana Style, I need Diffuser Blade, I need something along these lines so I can get in there and fight and survive?
I feel like it's a Radiance game. I think you could always make a case for Radiance on Spectre especially. I mean, look at the type of lineup that IG have. If you get a Radiance, you could obliterate the Drow, the Silencer becomes just food to you in every single fight. Same with the Lion, and just being able to lead with that much damage early on just makes the fight so much easier. Like, that's not even taking into account the Axe Blink Call, the Shadow Fiend. I mean, the Shadow Fiend with the Spectre, it's going to put out so much damage if they can get to the mid-game okay, and it looks like they are doing just that. They were able to get a kill off on top quite early. Hao's getting relatively uncontested farm at top as well, keeping up quite nicely with the other 2 lead farmers in the game, and the Shadow Fiend, especially with these stacks, is definitely going to accelerate quick enough.
Yep. He's already hit 43 CS. As far as the net worth, it's only just by 200 that Storm Spirit's ahead. And the fact that the Drow range is falling behind is now she's level 6. Maybe we should also be looking towards the tier 1 tower and bottom lane. Because we don't have something like the Chen, and you've got a Lion, you don't really have that much tower pressure, unless you look at the raw damage that comes out from the Drow Ranger. But she didn't buy the multiple amounts of Wraith Bands, so you're not finding this like a huge increase in early damage. Instead it's the Treads, and it's the Ring of Aquila, and she's got 900 gold up her sleeve. In fact, is this almost one of these games where... No, Toby, no.
What were you gonna say?
Midas.
Oh, is this a Midas game? Dude.
I'm not feeling it. Ferrari's in trouble. He's got a ball. He's away. Spectre with the horn. And he's going to see him, but he's desolated because he's isolated. And that's going to be a very quick kill coming in for Hao. In fact, it wasn't him that took it. It was the Shadow Fiend that gets the revenge kill on the mid solo.
Yeah, and that's going to be huge for him as well.
Hao's a little stranded though. He needs some help. Oh yeah, he's gonna cut through the mid lane to get back up on top.
He might even help take this mid tower, actually.
Yeah, well,
he's getting quite low.
While he's in the neighborhood, why not?
Luo is going to come in. He does have the Supernova up. Maybe this is a fight that IG take. Storm is about to respawn as well. Luo's in the back.
I think Sean's now realizing just how little damage does to Hal, but when they get that Nova off, Hal is using the Spectral Dagger so he can escape quicker to a point where Chuan can't see him.
Oh, and Burning actually came in for this, not the Storm Spirit, who actually uses TP to try to get out of that previous engagement. And Burning coming into that is so much less efficient.
I'm okay with this if they take the T1 tower. Because they just turned on the ultimate of the Aura of Drow Ranger. Click, 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 click. Okay, after the fortification. But you already committed a large amount of heroes, and you know the Spectre has gone up to the top lane, there's no Haunt. So you can force down the buildings and at least get some substantial damage in here.
Yeah, let's just take a look at who has TPs. Treant doesn't have one, Axe does. The Lina is there, but she's spread a little bit thin. She doesn't have too much HP or levels.
No, they've let the tower go.
Yeah, this is definitely going to go down. Even with the Treant armor, at this point it doesn't really matter. Not enough responses by Vici.
That's the amount of damage.
They might actually go Fenrir. They see him for a second.
Yeah, I think they saw him as he came down.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. They have no detection for him.
Yep.
That is your Supernova used, though, and your Storm did go down, and your Shadow Fiend is getting farmed during this time.
Under attack.
So Burning saves up to 1,800 gold. You don't want to see a Midas. I don't think I do either. I think the standard build, maybe Mask of Madness is okay here. I don't actually see enough Drow games to know this kind of stuff, to be honest with you, yeah.
Because there's not enough of them. Ever since RT stopped playing it in the mid solo,
that was not the thing.
That was that was an amazing thing actually, because that just showed you the imbalanced nature of Drow Ranger.
Okay, she does go for the Midas.
I was kind of hoping it isn't, because now we put Drow Ranger into a position where it becomes more of a level runner. So what you try and do is you work your way to level 16 as quick as you possibly can. The damage increase is absolutely ridiculous, but that's the primary thing. But she has to go into the jungle. This kind of also has to be amplified in the short term by getting something like the Helm of the Dominator, because that gives you your armor, it gives you regeneration, and it gives you the small amount of attack damage increase you're searching for.
Hal actually grabs a Vid Booster, so quite tanky. Means that the Storm alone can't kill him. Good choice by him, especially if he doesn't decide to go for the Urn, which it looks like this game he definitely isn't going to be able to grab. I don't even think it's worth it for him to grab that build.
This jungle got crowded.
Yeah, there's quite a few heroes in there.
I don't know if Ferrari or Burning is meant to be the focused person here, because Ferrari's using Remnants and I'm still seeing Burning getting a couple of the last hits.
Alright, let's see if Ferrari decides to go for that Bloodstone build again. I think if he was going to go for it, this might be the game. I don't know if, especially with the pace that this game is going, if Orchid off the bat is completely necessary, especially with how is built. I mean, he's got a Ring of Aquila, he's got a Stout Shield, and a Vid Booster.
Storm gonna get the Vortex, dragging back in, Chuan with a follow-up stun, and then the attack. This will be the last one from Ferrari. In fact, it's gonna be the Silencer who gets the kill. Nice thing for him, though, he's got 4 points of stolen intelligence.
Yeah,
so the axe is becoming a little bit dumber.
He was going for the dunk, and it wasn't very close either, because the Storm had 320 HP, so just a bit optimistic, but Ice does go down, but space created, Super is able to farm. He's got a mech on top of 90 CS with jungle stacks, and it looks like Vici might go for this bottom tower with this mech.
Well, that's the right time to push, because Dro's only got attack speed right now. She's not reaping the rewards from this Midas until she hits level 11. But at the same time, I think Burning is realizing this, and they're going in for a tower trade. With all of VG Gaming on the bottom lane, Burning can solo push into the towers.
Yeah, and Ferrari looks like he's going to go for this Bloodstone build, play a little bit greedier, play for the farm game. It's okay against, in this kind of scenario, especially if the game is slowed down this much. You don't want to overextend and force things. So like I said at the beginning of the game, this might actually
Ferrari, he's going to get called from the Fog of War. He doesn't get the jump off. Do they have enough damage with the Desolate? The answer is a no. A resounding no.
They do have the Haunt, but I don't think he should go for it. He's got too much mana.
No, because he'll just jump again when you go for the Haunt.
Yeah, and Chuan's right behind him at this point too. But man, that was Ice. Really good positioning, playing out the fog there, and that top. He is living armored up. Not too afraid. No great initiation for IG at top.
Well, then you got Sean and Faith arriving. They're going to come in from behind.
Yeah, but it actually looks like Vici's ready for this. They do place down the
he got the call. He got the call over on Sean. The Horn's going to go to work, but you're jumping up into a Nova. Sean's very low, but he got the finger of death off, so Ice will still drop for this one. Face in the neighborhood, that's a global silence trying to stop them. They got the egg down. Phoenix will die, so they don't get stunned. But where's the extra support for IG? Burning. He's got a Howl right on his tail. And Howl will go underneath his tower. Phase boots in 1 second time, throws out the dagger, and Howl will win on movement speed. And Super, yeah, you are not finishing that TP. That was optimistic at best to think that was going to work.
Yeah, going for that 4-man wraparound, that was such a beautiful call by Ice at top, just catching the lip of that. They were able to get the Phoenix egg off as well. And again, that's the Ice factor. You die, you get zoned out of the lane, whatever, you're still going to have impact. Being able to close that distance and being able to kill that Dro as well, that's so huge. Being able to kill your fellow hard carry on the other side, like that puts you in such a good position. You slow down Burning's farm, you get a ton on How as well, and it just opens up the map now for Vici.
Burning still does have this wonderful thing where it doesn't matter how many times a Dro Ranger dies, you're still awesome.
He's going to get a lot of farm. He's got a Midas.
Yep. So he'll walk over, he'll get closer towards his level 10 in a moment, but just having the casual lifesteal while building into now the Yasha, so he's not going to go for the helm with the Dominator, which I kind of like it when you do, because you can also get the Alpha Wolf, and that buffs up your entire lineup, because then you got that bonus damage on top of your helm with the Dominator.
Yeah, your problem here, though, this game for IG is that How has been relatively uninterrupted, and on top of that, he's been participating in fights. He's got 78 CS, he's got a kill, 3 assists on top of that, and if you don't really deal with him soon enough, the game just gets trickier and trickier at this point, and IG are smoked up. It looks like they want to try to get a pick off the top, and then immediately push down the tower, but IG look relatively prepared for this. Super's got an Invis rune, and FY is actually tree Invis as well. They do see him, though.
Yeah, that sentry is down, but the Gust coming out from Burning. I was right the first time. Reworking of abilities to make it better. I have to accept it.
Vici actually know what's going on now, too. Spotting out that entire rotation. IG are completely ready for this fight. They've devoted 4 heroes on top of this.
Yep.
But is this really worth it for them?
I don't think it is, because you've also got SF. You're going to jump in. And it doesn't matter even if you were going for the Orc, because he's already got his Yule Scepter up. So this is quite possible that one of these players from IG just gets exploded. And speaking of explosion, well, it's going to stop because of that, again, the Nova will come out, but with the global silence stopping with Super, he's in trouble. How? Where's that drop? They do at least get the Nova hit off, but Super winding up. Ferrari goes for a short jump, trying to evade the damage.
Oh, and he gets it off!
He's still going to get stunned up and brought down, but the dunk in from Ice. Dro Ranger is the only one to survive, because just like that, she wasn't there.
Man, just going... Oh... How was able to participate in the fight. The Dro felt like the previous time it didn't work out for her. She's just going to try to split push. Maybe the fight goes okay, but losing 4 heroes like that. I mean, the SF getting his ultimate off, reducing the damage from the Storm Spirit, and then getting the death interval off as well near IG's heroes. And How comes in just to clean stuff up. I mean, we talked about how it takes him 15 minutes to get online, but I mean, looking at his farm right now, it might not even cost him that much. He's got a Vit booster on top of a Ring of Aquila. Like, he bought a lot of side items. It's not even like he's straight rushing this Radiance, but he's already built up 3.3k gold. And if you're IG, 3 engagements in a row at top that just didn't work for you, you've got the Dro aura, and look at this, the Spectre's gonna solo push down your tower at the looks of it.
And with a fishing dagger and the Axe Illusion, the Phoenix is already pretty low, and he doesn't care if this tower just drops the old-fashioned way. Sure, it'd be great to have the extra cash, but
gold is gold at this point if you're How.
Yep, because it's the last tier 1 tower. They're losing map control, and Aspecta loves this kind of stuff. We almost go back to those old-fashioned days of seeing the split pushes. I don't think we really want to go so far back as looking at the Naga Siren, the Morphling, but the Spectre being in there, you sit on your... Wow, that's okay. You can just sit on your own lane, and you know you're instantly going to get into the fight because you appear on every single hero, and that even got buffed up even more. Okay, Fenrir, that's troublesome because you're underneath the sentry ward.
That's honestly fine though. They're just trying to scout out for How. If Fenrir dies to like a 3-man rotation, At this point, it's fine. And the way that Vici are playing around this Spectre, beautiful. Normally you see Spectre as the hero that is going to be completely useless for the majority of the game, but especially with the way that this SF is built up.
Didn't IG give him too much space?
I mean,
is that the other way we should look at this? Yeah, they played nicely around him, but was there just too much space? I didn't add any pressure onto a Spectre in the early stages of the game.
I feel like it's a combination of both. I feel like Vici has played this game really well, and IG have played this game relatively poorly. They telegraphed both of their pushes at top. The Lina being able to scout out ahead with the Invis. Oh man, there's just so much space created by Vici, and Ice. He had the worst laning phase that I've seen in a while that he's had, but he still picks up his Blink Dagger at such a reasonable time, just with the space created at top. And Super, he's going to be the first one to TP at top. This is the correct hero to send. It takes them way too long to kill him. No instant disables, as long as the Lion doesn't have a blink.
Well, you can't even last word or curse him. He's going to yield scepter himself out of it, so... The only thing you got for control up against that SF right now is the global silence, but do you really want to commit that when you've only got a Phoenix up there to help out the silencer?
Yeah, and Ice, he spots out the support rotations from bottom. This is just going to mean even more farm for Hao in this mid lane, and he's picked up his Relic.
Luo, really? I've got a feeling of deja vu. For everyone out there that was tuning in from the wonderful hours this morning, or in your afternoon if you're tuning in from Southeast Asia, or your very early morning if you're in America, we saw our double Midas earlier today, and we saw the Midas Viper as well. And
at bottom.
It's just depressing.
Oh, Burning is super dead.
Yeah.
Aha, see that?
They bring in the Haunt. The global silence is there, but Ice sticks with him, and with the Laguna Blade, they get the kill.
Fake is going to go down too.
He tried to help him, but there was no joy there at all to be had. That was Scrooge all over.
And that's a silencer. You're not going to be able to help that out. And Ice. I mean, you're ganking a Drow. That's not the tankiest hero in the game. Him alone could probably get the kill with just the Haunt coming in. And Vici, normally you see the Spectre played as such a defensive hero, but they've decided we're going to flip it on its head.
It's not even the aggressive build for the Spectre. Like, you're not going Urn and Blade Mail. You're still going that Vip Booster and Relic, and now the gold. He has the Radiance.
Yeah, and it just feels like IG, they kind of pushed into this. Like, they left Hao with so many options. If you 5-man push at top, and your team is winning that fight without you, then you just come into the back end, catch out 1 or 2 heroes with the dagger, chase down the Drow every single fight. I mean, it just opens up the map so much. And it just feels like this is the type of player that Vici is playing so well around. Hao's getting so active on the map with a hero like Spectre. He's 3-0 and 7. He's got his Radiance as well, so his farm isn't lacking on top of that. And he gets an Aegis on top of this. The fights are going to look so brutal for IG for the next 10 minutes. Because look at the Lion's HP. 701. Silencers barely got any more than that. I mean, the Drow's got 1100, but...
At least he's got Hex and Mana Drain. Like, that's one way to get rid of these illusions.
Yeah, does that really help you at this point?
And every little bit helps at this point.
700 HP support heroes against a Spectre. Not exactly what you're looking for. And we haven't even talked about the Shadow Fiend and how farmed he is. Like... We've only been talking about the Spectre.
Middle tower is
because Spectre's got so much, but it's the, SF is the highest net worth. He's going to finish his BKB in 100, also like 200, 300 gold. It's not that far off, and already having the Yule Scepter, every disable which IG has against him will have no effect now.
Yeah, that top Ice with another initiation. Hao's there as well. Yeah. Is he able to get the dive off? Nope. Gets blown up. That's another kill.
It's all about the dunk, man. It's all about the dunk.
Do you think, even if he gets the dive off there, they probably are able to chase him down, right? With the dagger?
Well, I don't think there'll be much of a problem unless they're... Actually, yeah, no, there is no problem at all.
Yeah, IG's not even close.
Because Spectral Dagger was still on him.
Yeah.
So he's leaving like an oil slick behind him. It's very easy to track that Phoenix Bird.
Yeah, and Vici are getting aggressive. They're smoked up. They're looking for the rotations for top. It's not going to be there. IG know what's up. Burning's going to farm out this mid. It just feels like this Midas by Burning, like you said. And then I think the Phoenix Midas is actually... You can make a better argument for that than you can for the Drow this game.
Well, Tier 2 tower on top. It's going to go down. Ice, FY Fenrir. All having a cigarette over at the tree line. They're waiting to jump in. And they've got a very big group up. In fact, 3 heroes. Burning is the primary target. The Global Silence will go first. And they've already managed to kill off the SF as well as Hao. With the Aegis more triggers. And look at the call in from Burning. Got the swing. Didn't go for the end dunk. Ferrari will have to zip himself away to safety. Where is his Phoenix? Hao is just chasing him to the end of the earth. Up to the secret shop. He'll dive away, but then... Wow! Committal is high, but now he can even reality down to Ferrari if he wants to. They're sitting on the edge of the well, but he's not going to, not that deep inside the base.
That's a 4 for 1, and you do blow up super off the... almost immediately, but it didn't even matter.
You could say it was a 4 for 2 because they blew the Aegis as well, but VG Gaming knew what they had to expect to win that fight.
Yeah, that was definitely intentional. They're okay with losing the Aegis, especially for that kind of fight. Ice picks up a full Blade Mail, he gets a tier 2 tower on top of that.
That really screws with Dro, because Dro hasn't had any progression. She can't buy into a BKB at the moment, so she can't do any kind of damage to the Axe when he does jump in.
It's just such a flimsy hero this game too. It's hard to protect him with supports like Lion and an underleveled Lion and a Silencer.
Yeah.
If Silencer doesn't pay off early, you've got your ultimate, but you're still one of the most fragile heroes in the game. Like, we saw how quickly he just went down in the middle of that fight.
I still feel the primary problem for this Dro Ranger, because I will defend her being selected until the end of the earth.
Okay.
But the primary problem I feel is that there was no push. There was no pressure applied towards the towers, so Axe was free to do whatever he wanted to. They were able to keep the supports right on top of the Spectre, so no one could really contest him either. Because you were never able to drag him away, and the Phoenix isn't really a hero. Would you say, yeah, I can contest you, but they picked it up so early that and when the Turnament was picked up by VGs, like, where do you really go with this? Like, are we going for a gank? Yeah, we are. Ice pretty deep in there. Luo, he actually couldn't pull himself out that one. He came back in again into the Nova Rake. Ice. He does have that Blade Mail turned on. Ferrari doesn't want to stick around for this one. Do they have enough damage in time to kill off the egg? Yes, they do. Phoenix will drop this. No follow-up stun, but it is a 2-for-1 trade-off. Chorn hiding in the tree lines. He's got Blink in 1 second. Actually stuns through the trees, catching out Super. Ferrari getting some serious work done. Catching out 2. Fenrir on the run.
Oh, he's definitely dead.
Yeah, dead.
Last word, it's going to trigger.
No way out. No way out.
And they can't fight without that Spectre ultimate. I think they just got a little bit too eager on the map.
Chorn actually managed to blink himself away in time. But where's that? Where? He actually kills off Silence to start with. Now looks for Ferrari. How's doing this solo?
Oh, he actually kills him as well.
But that's worth it. Dro Rangers ended a wicked streak on Spectre. I don't care if Silencer and Phoenix have to die for that, or whoever has to die for that.
Yeah, you still get 2 kills on.
You get level 16 on Dro Ranger too.
Yeah, if anything, that's a good momentum swing for IG. It revitalizes them. It tells them, okay, we're still in this game, even though those 2 fights, they might have gone a little bit sloppy. And the Spectre kind of threw away a lot of his net worth, and
he gave so much to the Dro Ranger that Dro's now #1 on the net worth board.
Yeah, and I feel the big issues there right now for Vici is that they use the entire BKB duration on SF just to kill the Phoenix Egg. Like, it was just him hitting it by himself. And then on top of that, Ice. Yeah, he got the call off, but then it was in the middle of the dive, so it wasn't the most efficient use of it. And I think Vici, they just did what Vici did again last game, is that they played this beautifully executed early game, and they just kind of like made 1 or 2 errors, got a little bit too cocky.
They've made it so hard for themselves because the Dro wasn't effective, and now we're into that position where what was it? It was the Queen of Pain BKB.
Yeah.
That happened last time they fed over a big streak, and now you fed more money over to a Dro Ranger that she completed a Mana Style before the fight was over, and now has another 3,000 gold on this Dro. So if she wants to, she can just walk up, farm up the Ancients once, buy the Eagle Song. Work your way into the Butterfly, because you're not going to be looking at a Monkey King bar over on this Spectre. You're definitely not looking at it any time soon on the SF. And once you got that, if you want to, you could potentially go BKB, but I don't know. At this point, I prefer to see Burning just go all out with the Butterfly.
It's a really weird scenario because Vici, yeah, they wanted to get aggressive on the map, but if you had waited just 10 seconds to make that move in their jungle, because they were the ones that opened up on that fight by going for the Yule Scepter on that Phoenix, if you just wait 10 seconds, you've got Hao with his ultimate, and that's an unlosable fight at that point. Because Hao just rips apart Burning. He just waits out the haunt duration, then you reality in, you go for Burning. Burning can't do anything at that point. All he has is a Yasha and a Helm of Dom. Not even a Helm of Dom, he's got a Morbid Mask. He doesn't survive that fight 10 times out of 10. But that Spectre, he goes in after the fight. Yeah, you catch out the Storm Spirit, but it's not even that big of a deal at that point. Like, Ferrari got what he came for. He has his Bloodstone, 8 charges. He's okay with dying right there.
And is now building into the Orchid on himself. Have a bit of a look. Looks like VG Gaming is a 5-man smoke train. Tooting the horn, going down into the mid lane. Not going to find anybody here from IG, however, and their only way to go is basically up through this direction.
Yeah, they do want to try to check out the jungle. They might have enough time maybe to catch 1 or 2 heroes. There aren't actually any. There's no obs wards in their jungle aside. They've just placed both, or they just missed both of them. And Super might just actually walk by one. Juan is at bottom.
Yeah, the smoke broke.
Oh, FY.
Yeah, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Just got fingered on the bottom lane. Yulsip's up for defense, and Ferrari moves in, then jumps straight back out again. Instant regrettal. The Phoenix will come back out of his egg. Do they have enough time? Yep. A Spectre will take it. And Chuan's hiding in the tree lines. He doesn't have mana, though. He cannot TP himself away here. He's stuck on this bottom lane for another 15, 20 seconds.
Nobody has any idea that he's there. They have to assume that he had gotten out quite a while ago, and you're probably okay with IG if that was a 5-man smoking, but Burning dying here would not be okay.
That's the Observer Ward up on top of the cliffside. They saw him. He's going to manage to Manta and gust them back. Needs more space, and he's not going to get that. The Diffuser Blade from Hal makes it almost impossible to run out for the Drow Ranger. And this is kind of like that funny thing where you talked about before, that Drow can really only fight when the Haunt is down, because there's no escaping Hal. Like, when he comes in, you got Diffuser Blade, as well as having Spectral Dagger and Phase Boots. You can't outrun the Spectre as a Drow Ranger. It's just not possible. So 4-stars, Blink Daggers, they don't help you in this scenario. Faith getting caught out by FY. The Yulsip did all the prep work for him. So you got
he
2
didn't even
players
need
down.
Hal for that one, and this is what you want out of your Lina this time. You didn't see it in Chuan's game, that's for damn sure, but you see it for FY this game. He's got his Yule Scepter, he's able to pick off solo support heroes by himself, gaining another kill for Vici. This should mean the mid tower down with the Drow and the Silencer, and I think this is a quick Roshan. Give it to...
They're looking for it. The courier is sitting on top of it as a scout right now.
Yeah. Super with his BKB now probably doesn't need it. I think you give it to Hao again. You just wait out the Aegis, make your way over there. They know that it's down for now, but I mean, Vici has so much farm on their heroes, and that Drow just isn't tanky. Like, her build doesn't really tank at all. She's got a Manta style, which is one of those catch-all items. It doesn't do the most damage, but at the same time, it's not the best defensive item. She does get a BKB, but it means her damage is going to be a little bit lacking this game.
Yeah. There's just no real choices for the Drow Ranger at this point.
Oh yeah, she has to get it.
Like the other option you could have gone down if you really felt like, with the Hand of Midas, if you're going for a big critical item, you could just leave it at like 1 or 2 points up in the Cold Arrows and get stats. So you at least get your life up a little bit further, and you get into something like a Skadi. Then potentially you're a lot more tanky. Ferrari, long jump in. There's your Global Silence as well. This is real troublesome. But then again, that Nova, it comes in the middle of the pit. There's nothing they can do about it. The stun will be able to crack, but the silence has already gone down. Chor's low on life is enough to get the finger into the Lina. And where's the rest of the support coming in? Sunray out, Luo, fly away, birdie. Hao is going to drop as well. Not before he gets himself a double kill, but Ferrari, now they look over to Ice. They get the Orchid on him, but Super's still in the middle of the fight. The first Yule's up. They walk in point-blank range onto Burning. He's able to get his distance away from Super, and that physical DPS, Fenrir needs to buy more space. Too early on the dunk from Ice, but it won't matter. They still get the kill on the Drow Ranger. Storm will run himself away. Roshan is alive and kicking for the moment.
He's actually quite slow. If Super can get just a little bit closer, Ice, he does blink forward.
We baited the call
if
to
he
try
gets
and get the jump.
But if he gets the hunger off on him, Super's got his Yules up. This is going to mean a dead Ferrari. Doesn't even get the Bloodstone Suicide. And then on top of that, I think this is going to mean the Aegis for Hao.
Yep.
Oh, did you... Okay, I know it was way too hard for you to follow, but how Reality is away at the last second, is able to get his dagger off with like 100 HP, goes over the cliff line, and just barely able to survive, forces IG to move up into that cliff line, and then Vici managed to dominate that fight.
They still get the kill on him though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because he bought back.
Yeah, he just wasted enough time though. That he was able to survive. His full ultimate duration goes off. It obliterates 2 heroes off the bat. The BKB does pay off though for Burning. But he still gets chased down. That's a BKB for Axe as well now, at the end of that fight.
That's so problematic for IG, because now Global Silence can't control the Axe as he's running himself across the field. I really thought, though, IG was off to a good start with Luo, getting that Nova in almost the perfect position with the Global Silence. So VG Gaming, like, well, what do we deal with? Do we deal with Ferrari, the Storm Spirit jumping to the middle of us, or do we deal with this flaming egg that just seems to be hitting the ground?
Yeah, that was actually a really well-executed fight by IG, but Vici just too far ahead in farm at this point for that to matter. And it looks like Super's going to go for an Assault Curse as well. become a little bit tankier for the physical damage. And that's going to help the Spectre as well, who's just become so beefy at this point. I imagine Heart's the next item for him, or a Manta.
Yeah, it looks to be the case. We've got an Assault Cuirass coming in from Super, and well, it wouldn't make a lot of sense to get a Manta in this game, would it?
I think it's still okay. It would help break most of the silences.
At the same time, you're a Spectre with like 4 levels up in Dispersion. All you gotta do is just tank it out.
Yeah, that's true as well. I mean, Manta, it increases your farming ability too, but I guess you have Radiance on top of that. It makes your team fights really strong. Oh, the other thing Hao did, he defused himself in the middle of the global silence, and then he gets his ultimate off. That's what I meant to say.
Okay.
Just good mechanical play by him. Didn't panic.
Now the extra challenge for all those players out there, they're going to be playing their pubs after this. Play Spectre and use Diffusal Blade in a manner that actually helps you.
Bottom tower
Yeah, that
is
was
under
just...
attack.
He did it instantly too. Just really well played by him in that fight. Alright, if you're IG, what's your plan, Toby? Do you think they're... I mean, they're okay, right?
I'm not feeling any major problems, but they definitely have to see where VG Gaming are coming from. I don't think they need to move out and smoke gank, because their initiation is more of these, like, you get 1 or 2 pickups when they're a little bit too far out, and you try and force the rest of VG Gaming to fight into you. The main goal has got to be give Burning space. Keep that Spectre away from him. So if they can get an initiation from Lion onto the Spectre, which I know is almost impossible because he's not going to be there when the fight begins. He'll come through the haunt. But they need to make sure that initial time the Spectre arrives, he can't get to the illusion. I don't care if Lion's going to sit behind the Dread Ranger the entire time and hex the first illusion that appears next to him. Don't care. I think that's what they've basically got to get to. Let Ferrari do the jumping, get the attention of VG Gaming.
Yeah, if you
and
get your
just let
global
Burning
off
dish
too.
out the damage.
If you get your global off as well, there's not a whole lot that can stop you from doing anything. I guess there is the BKB call by the Axe, but as long as you position properly, it should be okay.
Yeah. And what's he going to do when he gets the call? Like, unless he's managed to call the drone, even if he calls the Storm, I don't think that's a major problem, because it's 9 armor and just shy of 1900 HP. Like, that's still a lot to work through.
Yeah, but here's the issue right now for IG. Is that I made you play Devil's Advocate and defend IG's point of view, but FY is about to get an Aghanim Scepter, and this is what you want out of your support, Lina.
Oh, the pure damage? Oh,
it's gonna destroy.
Oh my god, no! Oh, please, buddy, no!
Yeah, and Burning's got a Ghost Scepter, which is gonna get diffuseled off pretty quickly as well. I don't know if this was the Ghost Scepter was the item. Yeah, Burning's got a Ghost Scepter, unless I'm...
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense. Jump in, Ice, he calls Fate. No global silence, no silencer at all. He is dead to the world, and then reality, they're on top of Chuan. He's going to burn out. Hao is still the main man that came down after burning. But he's sent up and towards the air by the Yield Scepter. FY doesn't get the timing to get the Light Striker Ray up, Burning to get the BKB up, but they can't stop him. Mana Style to start with, he's still got the Ghost Scepter. Ice very, very low, and out comes Luo, gets it on onto Super and Fenrir. They haven't found the openings here at VG.
What kind of dive?
What the hell are they doing? They're in underneath the tier 4 towers. At the same time, Storm's just like, well, I've managed to heal up, but nowhere near enough. Maybe that's why they're doing it. They just went underneath tier 4 towers with no tier 3 towers, no creep wave, and they just took a fight where they got there was an advantage. They managed to get a die back on the Lion too.
That is the best possible scenario for IG. There's just look at where the creep wave is. You dove pretty much past like every single tower that's alive to get to like 2 heroes, and then on top of that, you still dominantly win the fight. You don't even lose the Aegis on the Spectre. Like, that was like the clowniest thing I've ever seen work out.
I don't think that this effigy is really accurate at the moment.
Yeah, that was...
IG are having trouble beating the champions. Burning, he wants to kill an FY, but with that Yule Scepter from FY, just sent up with the Amanda Star Illusions are actually killing him. Ferrari needs 1 attack from range. He needs a secondary jump to get the kill. Dread Ranger, the Ghost Scepter is protecting him from Hal for the moment, but he needs more help. Phoenix up in 1 second time. Here comes Hal burning. He can slow down Hal. He came in too far. Hal, where's the help? Trying to send him Invictus. Ferrari jumping in, but they're going to division. Fenrir Aldi's going to be there, but the Shiva's Guard into the Sunray, slowing down Hal. Burn him like a fire. That's super. No, Wines. He can't. There's no Requiem, but his physical DPS is more than enough. But is it actually burning?
Oh, and they catch burning off here.
That's a big call from Ice. That could have been the death there of Super. It might still be
Super's
with
still alive.
Ferrari. He's going to get dunked at the last moment.
Oh my god, he's got 20.
29. The Storm Spirit. He wants to kill. It's a triple kill for Ice. How? Ferrari's on top of him. 108 seconds on the sideline, and Ice going deep on Ferrari. But how deep? Not deep enough.
Going in.
Get back.
Super's still alive.
Living armor. It's a
Like he had 10 HP at one point. He's able to just live throughout that entire fight. And VG Gaming are just playing with their food at this point, going in and out, in and out. They're just sending in one hero, another follows.
What would
wow,
Mama say?
that's just one man in, one man out.
Here's the jump. They got the cursor over on Ice. There should be enough damage to get the kill and get back out again with the BKB protection. But Spectre, he fought back and reality'd in. I didn't even see the Silencer die, but he did to Hal. But he buys back. The Storm's going to look for a secondary jump. Fortification. There's the TP on the way. That's going to be Phoenix to the front lines, but Super winds up the Requiem. Looks for the head. Phoenix just explodes apart. Ferrari went for the longer jump. They have to accept this bottom ranks is down.
Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
VG Gaming will back themselves out of here. They've lost the axe. They'll probably wait for next Roshan, which is 1 minute away from potential spawn time, and they will end the fight.
Oh boy, IG, I mean, they don't have the buyback on the Storm anymore. He used that out. Not a lot of gold coming his way anymore. He does have the BKB, but it just feels like VG's lineup is a little bit more complete, and they're out fighting them. Just it's like a game of inches. That tree was able to keep the Shadow Fiend alive at like the edge of death. He had like 10 HP, was able to walk that off, still contribute to that fight, and able to get that bottom racks. Hal has been like the king of buybacks in these last 2 games. Just keeps doing it, but it seems to work out for him quite well. He's got his Ring of Aquila on the courier as well.
Sean's dead.
Oh, is he?
Well, okay, no. I was thinking that Aghanim's upgrade on Lina was about to make very short work of the Lion.
It almost, actually he's not 16, he's not quite 16. But when he hit 16,
it's a one-shot on the Lion.
Yeah. If you're burning too, you're so worried at this point. Because even with your BKB up, that's half your HP, and there's an axe on you as well. If you don't blow up the Lina before the global silence, life becomes really miserable. And we haven't even talked enough about Super this game. I mean, look at this guy's farm. It's so sick. He's got an AC, a BKB, a Yules, a mech, and he just finishes a full Scotty at 40 minutes.
Yep.
That's a 6-slotted SF.
That's one fat SF. But he still hasn't cracked the 600 gold per minute. Shame.
Yeah, we'll let it slide this one.
Just for this one time, Super. Just for this one time. Just in case you're wondering, Black probably would have hit 600.
He would have.
Oh.
But would he have been in as many fights?
Probably not. But that's not the point, is it?
No, it's not.
That's the pub mentality. As long as my gold per minute and my KDA is looking pretty good, Ferrari not looking good at all. The global silence trying to give him a little bit more to play around with because Fenrir can't go for the ultimate. But with that Icarus dive into Shiva's guard, is there another call? Is there another cold? There is a Yule Scepter. Line Striker radiation threw both out, and there's your dunk. 60 seconds on the sideline. Phoenix not looking too pretty at all.
Yeah, no buyback on him. Not even if he had... Yeah, he's actually
They've only got 1 buyback for all of IG, and that belongs to the Droid Ranger, because they used 3 buybacks over the last 6 minutes.
Yeah, and there's no way that Vici don't know about that. They have to have this internal track. They have to say, okay, the Phoenix, if he had the buyback at bottom, he definitely would have done it. They know for a fact that the Storm doesn't.
There's no global, because they blew the global to try and protect him.
Yeah, there's actually nothing stopping Vici. And before they were going for the Kalani dives, but I think he's just trying to force the BKB.
Yep. That's what it feels like, too.
Yeah, but...
Because if they can force at least the BKB out, then Boning knows he's got a chance to control up. Then again, no he doesn't. Because it's a Skadi Assault Curiosity, you'll set to BKB as a mech SF.
Yeah, is he really afraid at this point? He's got 36 armor.
I don't think there is a way to kill him.
With tree armor?
Even if it was like 1 on 5, yeah, with tree armor?
And his mech, yeah, it's gonna be really, it's gonna take a while.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to kill off everybody and then go for Super. But we're saying that when you've also got to go up against Spectre, who's got, well, when he's in range of that mech, he's got 24 armor and over 3k HP. And I think he's also looking to build into a Skadi himself, unless he's considering a side device. But Manta could work, but I think at this point, with the amount of money that VG Gaming have got, you could still just go in for whatever item you wanted.
Yeah, it doesn't, honestly, at this point, it doesn't really matter.
No. I'd just like to see the Skadi even just for the stats. Well. Oh! Oh, really? The committal is so high. He's gonna live! Almost! Almost! There's a 2-for-1 trade-off. It was a Laguna Blade kill over on the Courier. It was carrying... Wait, what the hell was it even carrying? It was carrying the cheese. For IG. Back. So the jump in. It's gone on Ferrari. So he needs to buy back in. And Burning. He needs to do more damage here. Make a little bit more space. And how is the man just jumping for him? Diffuser Blade, he actually used it and then went into the Ghost Scepter, which means Burning is quite literally burning amplified with that Radiance over on Hal. But the mid tower is going to drop. I don't think there is really a way out of this one. We go, Ice looking for the call. Now Ferrari jumping out. Ice with that Blade Melt, not making this easy, and also not making it easy with the cheese. Hal's just driving in so deep. That Ghost Scepter still on cooldown for Burning, so he can't give himself some space in 3 seconds. He's down for the count. There is no buyback, and I don't think there is any real hope here. You're going to lose your mid, you're going to lose your top, and there's nothing IG can do about it.
Yeah, that was so much of a committal by IG. They used the Phoenix buyback, but without an egg, who really cares about that? And they just don't have enough in the tank. They don't have heroes that can exactly teamfight on top of that. Like, once you blow your egg and your global silence, you don't have the best AoE on top of that. The Lion was never able to get going on the map. They are going to go for super at top, but he's so tanky.
Yeah, they go at the Finger of Death. Isn't enough to get
he's
through.
Got his global silence
going to be in a little bit
more. He's got a Yules!
Man, Ferrari can't finish the job. He tried to jump through him at the same time, and he can't get all the way down. Fenrir was there waiting for him, and Luo actually stops moving for a fraction of a second as Hal just rips through him. The SF will fly back into the game. The last remaining player is Silencer, but GG is the call. VG Gaming, with their 1-game advantage, will take out the grand final and qualify themselves for the D2CL LAN Finals, hosted here in Europe. Details to be released at some time soon. Very soon. Very soon.
Yep. But wow, what a great game by Vici. In both games, their early game just looks so flawless. They had some hiccups in the mid game where they get a little bit overconfident, but it doesn't even seem to matter because their control of the late game and the early game seem like it builds up too much of an advantage for them at that point.
It's... I've sat in this position, I think now 3 times today over our games, where we sit there going, how do you even come back from this? It happened twice with LGD, just because their draft didn't really account for it. And this game, I know we were sitting there at the end of the draft thinking, wow,